are listening to the Dr. Gina Show, and I have in studio with me State Senator Chuck Purgason. And Senator, you wanted to talk for a moment about Prop C, and I'd like to give you just a second to do that. But then I have some questions about the race you are engaged in.
Okay. Yep. I'm a proud co-sponsor of that legislation. And, you know, to me, that is government intervention in private lives at its highest. And I was proud to work with Senator Cunningham to get that put on the ballot. August 3rd, the people in the state of Missouri will have the opportunity to vote on saying no to Obamacare, and we'll be one of the first states in the nation to put it on the ballot. And I encourage everyone to go out on August 3rd and voice their opinion.
And so it's no secret to you, back to your race, because you're running for the U.S. Senate, and this is no secret to you. You have an uphill race, and you've acknowledged that many times. Congressman Blunt has $10 million. Some would say maybe that it's impossible for you to win. Is it impossible?
Absolutely not. You know, I think we're past the point of valuing how good our candidates are by how much money they have. You know, I believe that we have to return to conservative principles. You know, look what we've been getting for the last several years. You know, regardless of what party you're in, what part of broke do these people not understand? You know, we're passing on debt to our children that they'll never be able to pay for. Thomas Jefferson said that it was immoral for one generation to pass its debt on to another. And we are fixing to pass a debt on to them that they're not going to be able to pay. And you know, I'm frustrated with the Republican Party because we haven't stood on our values of smaller government. You know, the number one plank of a platform of the Republican Party is a balanced budget, and no earmarks is number two. We simply have not been keeping our candidates what is in line with what our party believes. We need to hold them accountable, and we need to replace the ones that haven't been following what our party believes fundamentally.
And so I guess the follow-up question to that is, you know, if you wake up the day after the election and you, for whatever reason, did not win, what will you do? Where will you be putting your support?
Well, I have a small business. You know, right now we're concentrating on the primary. We plan on winning the primary. I tell you what, the support that we're getting across the state right now, we have over 450 volunteers signed up running the campaign. We have radio up. It's so energizing to go out and run into volunteers at every event I go to. And I'm very excited about the direction our party's going and our campaign. And, you know, you mentioned that it's a tough climb. You know, Davy and Goliath was a tough fight, but I think I remember Davy won that one by standing hold to what he believed in, standing to his principles, and I believe that's what I'm trying to do to try to get the Republican Party to begin the process of standing up for what we believe and not becoming part of the problem.
I found it interesting that on your website, I guess, it says that you're saying a few things the federal court rulings have done, and that this is part of your platform, I guess. And one of the things that upsets you is the allowing of indoctrination of students in the Muslim religion. And I just wondered, with everything happening right now, I'm sure you're familiar with the NASA directive that came directly from Barack Obama to say that our job at NASA now is to make sure that the Muslim countries feel good about themselves in space and their background in math and science and whatever. And I just wondered, what exactly as a legislator would you do about this problem?
I think what you have to do is get the federal government back to Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution and deem what is the role of the federal government. Now, I don't think teaching about religion and space is necessarily a role of NASA, but you know, when it comes to education and items like that, I think that is a situation that's best left up to states. Your husband and I both served in state government. You're able to contact your state officials. You're able to see them at the ballpark and be in conversation with them. And I think that's a fundamentally state right when it comes to education.
And of course, you know about Obama's visit here to our state yesterday, and I myself thought it was just a great thing that he was here, because I thought it told us in no uncertain terms where Robin Carnahan stands on these issues, that she is willing to tie herself to this president and the things he's done and the things he's doing, and the fact that about 70% of people, according to most of Rasmussen's polls, don't agree with what he's doing, and yet he's not listening or making any changes or even changing his path or showing any sign that he will. So I guess that's saying that she agrees with him on that. And I read this morning that Congressman Blunt said that he welcomed as many times as the president would like to come to the state to campaign for Robin Carnahan. And I wanted to give you a chance to answer to that as well.
Well, I think that's the president's trying to improve his majority, and but I think the answer to this race is clear. Robin Carnahan means higher taxes, but the frustrating part is Congressman Blunt, when under the Bush leadership, added $1.4 trillion to the national debt and added $8 trillion to the unfunded liabilities of this nation. They also passed a TARP program that began the process of government picking winners and losers in a free market system. So what's the difference between someone and then someone that doesn't stand up for the principles of their party? I believe the TARP vote was if you understand free markets, that is allowing government to decide in a free market system who wins and who loses. And I think that is one of the most anti-free market votes that was ever cast. So, I think that it's our party that's the people we are electing that's the problem, because our party is a party of personal responsibility, smaller government, allowing you to keep more of your own money in your own pocket. And clearly the people we've elected haven't been following that. And that's why I think the future of this country is a revitalized Republican Party, but only if we elect people that follow the principles of what we stand for.
And so the reality of it is, if we end up with someone like Robin Carnahan, this country is going a bad direction, and I think that is the ultimate enemy here in all of this. Of course, I know that you agree with me on that. If you don't win in November, what will you ask your supporters to do the next day?
I plan on winning in November, so I'm going to ask them to hold me accountable. And that is what we need to do to our elected leaders. I want them holding me accountable to standing up for the values that I run on. I think that in the past we've been talking to people that come to Missouri and promise one thing, they move to Washington and they vote with Washington interest. And I want voters to hold me accountable. I believe in term limits. I believe that we have to have a balanced budget because, face it, when Republicans was in charge, we blew it. We didn't stand on our principles. We became part of the problem rather than part of the solution. And I want to stand up and fight for what we believe in.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add to our conversation today that you'd like the voters to know?
Well, our website is PurgasonForSenate.com. We'd love to have volunteers. It's a building campaign that people are very excited about, and I'm getting excited more every day because of the talking with people, and it gives me a chance to be on your show, which is great. But PurgasonForSenate.com. We'd love to have you sign up and get involved in taking this country back.
All right. Chuck Purgason, candidate for U.S. Senate. Thank you for joining us, especially in studio today. I appreciate it so much. And you are listening to The Dr. Gina Show.